Greetings, greetings, greetings. You are now tuned into the vault. Trust Christian, own nothing, control everything. Just wanted to come to you all today and do a very special episode. I'm going to be having a associated trustee come through and talk to you all today. So I look forward to doing this. I'm just looking to get this meeting going. I know I have a meeting. I have a meeting going right now. So everyone, this is the Vault. Trust Christian, know nothing, control everything. Wow, I gotta know how to move this thing. Current meetings. Aren't we in a meeting? So, yes, everybody, I just want to thank you all for tuning in live or listening to the replay so far. This is the live stream, The Vault. Come on every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we come on at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Everybody, I'm looking to do something right now. Alright, here we go. Thank you for tuning into the Vault. Trust Christian, own nothing, control everything. Thank you for listening live or listening to the replay once again. I have one of our trustees here live with us today. Cornell, are you there? I think he's here, everyone. So, Cornell, if you're there, just give us a holler. I know you're there. I know you're on the line. So, Alright, here we go. I think we should be good. I think we should be good for sure.
Say what?
I think it should be good. Yeah, I think you're there. Can anyone hear him? I just want to know. Thanks everyone for tuning in live. Can anyone hear him? So, alright. Well, I think it's pretty loud actually. Alright, we're gonna go as loud as it can get. So, alright, greetings everybody. So, everybody, we're going to start out with the news. I do want to thank you all for tuning in live. This episode is going to be about how to fund your trust account. A lot of people come to the vault and they ask questions about, the trust and, how do you fund it? How do you fund it? And I think it's just an important question to ask. They always say, does a trust have to start with trust funds? A lot of people ask that question, and I just want to go ahead and put it out there, put the best content out there about the subject matter. So, today we have in the news, I'm just going to start out with some of the heavy hitters. Cornell, if you heard that Litecoin was doing some stuff with Venezuela and how their foundation, Litecoin's foundation, is really making a move, and they're dealing with Bitcoin once again, and they're creating relationships in this country, and they were showing charts in this country, which is quite interesting, of the Litecoin in their country and how they're trying to adopt it. You hear a lot of things coming out of Venezuela right now that necessarily aren't always good, but the fact that they're trying to make a move in this direction shows a lot of progressiveness, and that should be looked upon. There was another story that I saw this week. I was pulling up. It was about Tether. So if you guys don't know about Tether, what do you know about Tether, Cornell? It says Tether to launch on Tron's blockchain. So there you go. You have somebody making a partnership once again at the elite level, and they say Tether's market cap is currently over $2 billion. So as you all can see, they're making moves in certain directions. This is once again technology being created in front of you. And me and Cornell always talk about how this is knocking out the what we call the unsophisticated money. A lot of people got rich and they couldn't ride the wave any longer. And so now we see people that they've ridden the wave and they got wiped out with the water. The wave came and then they got wiped out. And it's the signature. They said they couldn't hear you, Cornell. I don't know why they couldn't hear you, but maybe they said you're not. They said it. I mean, I'm just like, I think they should be able to hear you. If you guys can hear him speaking, I would love some confirmation. I think I got you. I think I see your mic moving now. Alright, so cool, Cornell.
Yeah, it's moving.
U.S. crypto exchange Iris X hires former Wells Fargo executive as a business developer. So as you all can see, Iris has raised 27 million dollars from his Fidelity Nasdaq Ventures and other investors with the goal of offering a trading spot in Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, as well as futures market pending regulatory approval in 2019. So this is a regulatory exchange, or excuse me, not a regulatory exchange. This is an exchange that literally just raised some capital and now they're about to build a technology. They've appointed 3 veterans, they say, from Barclays, YouTube, and the Chicago Board Options Exchange to fill the executive roles at the company. Does it sound like you need to invest in them? They say, do you need to invest in these people? I don't know. I wouldn't bet on it. So I'm gonna get rid of that article. I don't know if I have any more articles. Uh-oh, here we go. Major news. Major news, Cord. Here's major news. Utah bill
Amazing.
would exempt blockchain firms from Money Transmitter Act. So it goes through and it's talking about how they want to admit blockchain technology to pay for things in their society. They know how to
Is that
pass
Utah?
regulation called the Money Transmitter Act.
And that's in Utah?
Yeah. So they're not giving them. They want to make these crypto companies have a money transmission license. So, I mean, you think about it, like, okay, that means they're a bank. It says money transmission license. It's like PayPal. All of these companies are acting as a money transmitter. So now they want to make these crypto exchanges act as a money transmitter. Why? Because that's what they're doing. They're exchanging money. So they're trying to put them on an exchange or say they're an exchange. So they want to, hey, and they wanted to pass a bill that it would exempt them. What kind of craziness is that? It said Ripple's revolution won't be televised. They said what revolution? So we all know about Ripple. Cornell, is the revolution with Ripple being televised?
Oh, they ain't gonna televise.
Is Ripple a revolutionary?
They are, but not to the consumer.
Right.
So it's a government thing. You already know they want to sell their products to consumers. So it's gonna be a quiet little institutional type move. Don't look up. We'll be talking about it be a couple $100 later on.
All right, here we go.
Quietly.
Right, right. All right, here we go. More than 300 store closures are announced in a single day as retail apocalypse rips through JCPenney, Gap, and Victoria's Secret. You all can Google these things, ladies and gentlemen. The reason why I'm sharing this information with individuals more now and families now is, as you can see, the retail landscape is changing. I think Alibaba was doing something with, oh my gosh, it's such an old company too. I saw that they were doing something. I was like, why would they partner with such an old company? But you already know what Alibaba's doing. Alibaba's the biggest website on the internet. Is there any website bigger than Alibaba? I don't think any website's bigger than Alibaba, Cornell.
Nah, he built that for years.
I don't, oh, anyways, shout out to Alibaba. Good website. Great story. So, tonight we're going to be talking about, what is the name of this episode? How to fund your trust account. So, ladies and gentlemen, we get this question all the time. And it's, you know, how do you start out the trust? Do you have to have a fund to start it out? Where does the fund come from? Where do the funds come from when you start the trust out? Ladies and gentlemen, the trust is a person. So it's a company. And as it Oh, wow. And as it being a company, we have to move in like fashion. Like fashion meaning knowing that the company has to have an education, the executives. That's why these companies of what I just named out, they had executives from Barclays. They had that's a major financial institution, and now they're going for what? They're going for a transmitter's license. That's what they're going for. They're going for their transmitter's license. So as we can see, these individuals are building businesses, companies such as those, and as you can see, these companies are being funded from banking individuals. I mean, if he was an ex-executive of a company, I'm pretty sure he has a good parachute package. Would you agree, Cornell?
Yeah.
He's got a good parachute package, and now he's moving on to bigger and better and newer and brighter days at a newer company doing. It's called a startup. They would try to call these companies startups, but these crypto companies have already raised a lot of funds. So they say, how do you fund a trust? Hey, go fund me. That's one of those ways.
Yeah.
But tonight, you know, we're gonna talk. Well, see, the thing about it is, a trust can be used for charitable purposes. That's why they have over 80 different types of trusts. So that's why you see people say, "Oh, I'm gonna have the charitable remainder trust or the private family foundation." This is what they're getting because they want to make it a point to move in a charitable fashion. Why? Because charity lightens the burden of government. But we're not talking about that tonight. That's another episode. But to fund your trust account, this is tonight because everyone wants to know about the funding, Cornell. They don't want to know about the credit funding. They want to know about the funding as a fiduciary, as a trustee over. When people say you're in trust in a hedge fund, so inside of this fund, because a hedge fund's inside of a trust, am I right?
Yeah.
That's just the bottom line, ladies and gentlemen. So a hedge fund is a trust fund. So what is a hedge fund? Private equity. Now we're going to go into what's considered private information. That's why they call it private equity. They got public equity and private equity. Public debt and then private debt. So let's go into private equity, Cornell. Private equity is now how smart you are. We're dealing with Cornell talking to us about a pattern, a technique, a banking philosophy, which we learn in trust because banking is private. Banking is private. Banking is private, ladies and gentlemen. And so they got private equity. So one of those things is trading. Now, there's a public education with the trading and there's a private education. Cornell has a private education. I've been through it. We're working on it. The brother got it right. But this comes from what we call having an education. Now, that's one thing I like about him. He's definitely going to tell you it's about how much you study. It's like, really? So the private is not just about banking, it's about education. Because you have to have an education private. So we're going to talk about the trading out of the trust account privately. And this is just to say, Cornell, what do you see? What's your perspective, trustee, knowing your true position as a trustee in relationship to the funds? Because if you were in a private equity situation and you raise private capital, once again, aren't you in a position of a trustee?
Yeah. I'm in the position of trustee. Can you hear me?
Yeah, no, I hear you. You're fine.
Okay. Yeah. So like I said, the trust is a person. You want to receive your funds in that trust for a specific purpose.
There you go.
So
So
you trade, you create your own private equity because you control your money. Ask yourself this question: who would you rather control your money? Financial advisor, or you study and make more money than your financial advisor and control your own money? And he public, so you still not set up the right way. And all he's doing is trying to set himself up for later on when you retire, that you hopefully will let him manage your money. Or we can go in here, like what me you talk about. You can make whatever you want to make every day, all week, or a month. It's up to you. What I tell you all the time, it's up to you, Christian. What you want, how you want to trade, how you want to make your money. It's a certain way to make it every day. It's a way to make it every month. But the good thing about it, you control it. The good thing about it, it's not going away. So if you ain't taking the time to study, that's on you. So Cornell, when you get in here with this with the webinar with me, we not going through no little quick strategy indicator. Christian know that. I can sit here on the weekend, market can close, and tell you exactly what it's gonna do next week. Between what two areas it's gonna be at, and more than likely I can almost predict the move sometimes, depending on the pattern I see. Because the one thing people don't know, people got a lot of strategies, but people really, how many you know really know when the market gonna turn around? I do. I know when it's gonna go to a certain level and just boom. Before that news hit you on TV, I kind of seen where they already set it up for that news to come out on TV, and that's the power in it.
there's a lot of power in it, and that's the biggest thing is I want people to really realize like, okay, people say, oh, we need to be in control of how to grow the funds, and it's like, okay, you're growing a position from yourself. And if you're not going to do it yourself, then you're going to be a trustee. And once you put yourself in a position of a trustee, you have a fiduciary obligation. You can go look up fiduciary law. You can go see law of trusteeship, and you all can see that it's usually going to be in fiduciary law. And you all can see like that's what the 401k advisor is. That's what those guys are. So once you see that, okay, these guys are going to get a license to sit here and know some parts of the law, like, okay, so the law is private, contract law is private, trust are private. So then you all can see like, okay, I might need to go further myself into private information. And this is considered private information. When Cornell talks about trading, or when we talk about trading, we're talking about something that would be considered private. Why? Because you don't see them have classes. And when I say them, I'm talking about like the most modern. Okay, how about this? Here we go. Segue. So Cornell, did you teach Harvard and Yale and Stanford guys? And tell me their expressions. Tell me what you heard. Tell me your observation when you taught them what you're talking about that you do in your training class. I need to hear this, and the people need to hear this.
They was shocked. They ain't never seen it before. They had strategy that they used like everybody else, but I think they realized that all that money they spent, they still didn't have the right information.
Okay,
They was full attention
how
in
many
that
of it
room.
wasn't?
They
Like when you say you flew somewhere in the world, or you went somewhere in the world and you taught this to Harvard and Stanford people, how many
it
of
was
them
about
was it?
30 though.
Okay, okay.
It was
Okay.
a hedge
Can I
fund.
start throwing out numbers of
It
how
was
much
about
that time
30.
would cost? How much they were willing to spend?
Six-figure check.
No, no, no. For each of the people in the room to sit there and learn it from you.
He asking what?
How much they would have had to pay for each person? How much they were willing to pay for each person to sit in the room and learn from you?
Probably 5 figures. They was gonna go to a company where they're gonna pay 5 figures.
So, 5 figures. So that means, okay, we understand what those numbers are. So, once again, Cornelia said I need you to be a little bit louder. All right, we gotta make sure that this episode is heard clearly. I gotta make sure the mic is up. All right, we should be
Mine
good.
all the way up.
He said, "Mine I'm all the way up." All right, we should be good. All right, we good? Uh-oh. See, I think I lost you now. Oh man. I know you here. Someone said they can hear it good. All right, see, we got some. It's everybody's connection. So, Cornell, we back at it, man. Cause Five Figures, they wanted to do this. They were paying that, but okay, so the Yale and Harvard, we're going back to these people once again that went through the system the right way for what they considered the private information, but it was public. You showed them that it was public. Okay, so now we go to the private stuff. What's so great about what you're doing?
It's at a higher level. It's institutional level type trade. It ain't the indicators and the strategies. It's like you see, it's a pattern. It's a technique they use. They put right in your face every single day. I don't need 100 indicators or anything. I can pretty much pull up a chart, different time frames, and pretty much see what's going on.
And I think your stuff is so turnkey, like it's easy to learn the first time you see it. Like, okay, you
And I'm
just going.
telling, and the way this was the point people miss, like how you said, yeah, this guy from Portland, he had a hedge fund. He flew me up there. He flew me up there because somebody I know how I trade. So when he talking to me, I'm telling him some stuff that he never heard. And you looking at a young individual, black guy, sitting there talking to me at a high level, and I'm dealing with millions. But we making our money with a combined sort of assets. So the conversation gets serious when I can pull a chart up and pretty much it's the one thing nobody's catching on to. You bring me your best trader and you tell me if his strategy is gonna work on every market. Then we can have something to talk about. Most people don't even know that's what's going on. So I'm trying to get people to see why you out here investing your money and somebody charge you to go trade futures, forex, binary options, stocks. Cornell know what they doing. They using the same language in all of it. Cause think about it. Who controls everything? Why you think the market moves? So if I'm getting in when they get in, guess what? Cornell making easy money. But I done took a lot of the struggle out for most people because I done put the years in. I don't sugarcoat when I teach. Here it is. Go study it, and you're gonna be surprised. And the question I always get asked is this it? But when you ask yourself that question, is it? You don't realize that if you caught on to that, you at a higher level than 98% of the people you see online. And I promise you'll never see this on YouTube from nobody. That's how deep it is. And these guys, he just throwed 100,000 out. He was actually willing to pay more than that. He was finna actually. This how serious they are about their money on the private side. He actually had 30 people, right? He was going to spend anywhere from 30 to 50,000 to send them to a training seminar somewhere else. To be honest, with him, the first thing he threw it out, he was willing to pay more than that. As you see, they serious about what they doing. And guess what? They called me back because we looked at Apple stock when it was 142, and Cornell can pull a map up and tell you, oh, it's at the bottom. It's finna go back up. Guess what they did? They took them millions and pretty much made $40, $50 per share off the price that it is right now. And said, hey, we appreciate that. So guess what? The money they just invested in me, pretty much they already saw a return on. And now you got people with a trading background that with the Ivy League looking like, yeah, might need you to come up here every 3, 4 months because it blow their mind. They just spent all that money to go to school. And Cornell sitting there, no degree. But guess what? Maneuver around the private sector, you get certain things. So it's all about the study of the game. If you ain't willing to study, what I said, you ain't finna make no money. Don't call me and say it don't work. Now you didn't study because 100% of everybody that did it making money off of it. So I know it worked.
What do you
Everybody
think of
was
the
studying.
philosophy of compound interest in what you're talking about?
It's gonna be a little bit quicker than compound. And compound interest is excellent, great, but it's a little bit quicker than compound interest.
That's good to know. So,
Because
okay.
we control at that rate of return on what's going on with the trade.
All right. All
And
right.
I
So,
like the control of it. Like I don't know if y'all hear me. I'm in control of my money. I don't have to call the bank and ask for no money. I don't have to call a broker and ask for. Even though I deal with a broker, I'm not calling the broker to get them to do anything for me. It's me trading. If I go and make $1,000, I'm hitting the button on my computer, transferring it to my account without talking to anybody. I can walk in the bank and fill the slip out and get my money out. No
simple.
financial advisor, no pre-tax penalty, because you borrowing your money from 401k. None of that. We ain't got to deal with none of that. And it's in a trust account at the same time. So it ain't even my money. Let me correct that. It ain't my money.
And this is what a typical hedge fund manager doing. I think it's a good. I think Roy Seabag's website is still up. Roy is he's actually a owner of a company called GoldMoney.com. I think it's still up. And he actually, Roy, the founder of it, claims he's only getting $1 a year. But clearly, he's the executive of the company, which is flying around in a jet and wearing nice suits. But that's what
I'm
happens
gonna
when
make
you're an
myself get a
executive. You get an
dollar.
executive's package.
Hey,
But
I'm gonna make a dollar. I'm gonna make $1 this year.
I heard that. It makes you funny. I'm trying to see Roy Seabags, man. You hit me with that. All right. Well, yes. So Roy, you all can check that out. That's something that you all can check out. Uh, so I think you all can. We're gonna keep questions always catered to the topic now, ladies and gentlemen. I know you all get to hear us once a week, but I want to keep the questions catered towards Cornell. And
And
when we talk
staying on
about
the
the trading,
topic of trading at the trust, a lot of y'all don't realize most brokerage are set up to set your account up out of a trust because a lot of institutions and bigger investors, that's how they trade. So it's already out there. It just ain't being taught to you. So the first thing you're gonna do, you're gonna think about the money. You're gonna quickly try to go open an account. You put it in your personal name or you put it in the business name. But guess what? You're gonna get that tax form at the end of the year. So make 500,000 and it's in your personal name. And you just been spending money the whole time. So that's the power in trading with the trust. Once you learn how the trust operates, then you can understand what we're talking about. So you're getting the best of both worlds. Like with the trading, I promise if you learn it, it's like any other skill. So it's just talking in this layman term. When I'm seeing my skills, somebody cut the hair, they never lose that skill. They go do construction, they learn carpentry. If you get where I'm going with that, that's what trading is. When you hear Cornell says repetition, and Chris can tell you firsthand because he's getting into it. That pattern now. Now, if you can't train your eyes to see something, then something wrong. If you can go learn all these other trades, guess what? You took time to study those other trades. Take the time to learn this, but this is a money game here. And no, you don't need a lot of money to start with. You actually can practice this. You
right?
be like,
That's
huh?
what blows me real quick.
You
That's
can
the part
practice
that
this.
really I be wondering. I be like, so how are you not just in the demo account? The demo account, they have a demo account, ladies and gentlemen, for trading. This is like when you play any sport, you warm up. So before you play anything or do anything, you warm up. But once you get consistently warmed up, it's time to play the game. And this is for any
Time to
athlete.
play.
This should be easy to adopt. It's learning a new skill. That's it. I'm just wondering, where does the fear come from to not learn it, Cornell? Where would you say that? Where does the fear come from to not learn it?
I won't say it's a fear, but you got people that think they doing it because they got a nice job or they got a couple things going on.
They comfortable. See, the fear is really sometimes replaced with comfortable. People are a little too comfortable. So, okay, how do you fund your trust account? You get uncomfortable, ladies and gentlemen.
And that's what it is. You got to get uncomfortable. We don't, a lot of stuff passed by us because public personas. Look at most of the schools where how y'all growed up at. They gonna teach you the regular trade, the worker trade. You go to college, they teach you to go get a job. Guess what? The Ivy League boys, they taught to be CEOs and run companies. Ask yourself the question. I just told you they went to school. Harvard teaching it. Harvard was the first one to teach you cryptocurrency. They got a class on it. Now these guys actually are certified to go into that field and probably run some of these hedge funds and private sector companies. Are they doing that at your public school? No. But here's the power, like I said, in Trust and Foundation. We can't sit here and blame nobody else. Guess what? The system out here. And couldn't tell you, guess what? We can go. Look at Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre just put his own program, him and Jimmy Iovine. Go do the research. Y'all think they just gave a $70 million donation? No, they didn't. They
Uh,
learn the game. Same
right.
thing I want to do. I go put in my own program. Guess what? You can't say it's a black or white thing when you can go do the same thing. It's all about putting yourself in position. I can call some schools with my money right and put that program in place on the private sector. So it's all about who want it. Is you gonna study? If Cornell sitting there telling you, and I done seen this happen multiple times with different people, not just me. Take my aunt for an example. Like I tell you all the time, started with $400. She made over six figures trading people in less than a year. She actually had a better start than me when I started trading. Took me 6 months to learn how to trade.
Actually, I was thinking about that the other day. I was thinking, like, what if I went as long as Cornell did without making money? What if I stayed in the demo that long and then I came out the gate that way? I was like, that would be a great humble beginning once again. Because that'd
And
be
see,
like,
the thing
okay, you're
about what took
solid.
me so long, it was no help around. Cornell's research and this call, I'm natural to trade. So I can sit here and look at certain things, certain movement on a chart before I even read about it or heard about it and pick up on it. Then later on, oh, I run across the information and put two and two together. It make it even stronger. But Cornell was already making money off of it before he even understood it. So it's all about who put in the study. And guess what? That came for me for 8 months, looking at a chart, 4 to 5 hours a day. That didn't cost me nothing once I got a start and somebody showed me a little bit what to do. Did I pay some money? Yes, I paid some money. I paid money to learn how to short trade futures. Do I regret it? No, I don't. But you got to keep learning. It's different levels to the trading. So I started somewhere. I invested in myself. And after that, I sat there and invested my own time to learn how to trade. Now we at a point, guess what? Now we making the money. Now it's beyond the money. Now I gotta make sure my money set up the right way. So I could maybe one day come back and put my own program in. That's where the trust and foundation and all that gonna come into play. So it ain't about somebody that's giving you a handout, it's about you putting the work in. It ain't nobody stopping us from doing nothing. And if we supported each other more and took stuff like this as outside the box more serious, you can't blame nobody.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's so outside the box.
It's outside the
It's a
box.
one
You ain't
percent
used to
thing,
hearing
man, and it's just it's
so
so crazy
you
to
ain't used to
see.
hearing it in the hood. Oh yeah.
Yeah. But
We sit there and talk about Eric Thomas. How many people that actually? Who are y'all following? Are you following real people, or are you following the people online that falling out in the club showing you the cars and the other stuff?
yeah, the
That stuff
entrepreneurs,
probably
man.
rented.
It
All
said
of
it's
that.
probably written. Oh boy. Uh,
Probably rented. We just talked about this. Like that's all they showing you. They ain't really showing you where they put in real work. What you doing, pop? Okay, if you got so much money, that's why I posted the other day on my page. Please stop showing me all these fake club balling pictures. But y'all say y'all 6 and 7 figure traders. But I don't see you with nothing. You got the same stuff. You're not doing nothing positive. Okay, you making that much money. Why you ain't doing nothing positive with it? Like I'm tired of seeing that. I don't follow fake people. That's why I learn. That's why I come across them. I get around real people. If somebody that can fake, I'm not around. If I'm around you and you done gave me this image, and then I see that you really not doing what you say you doing, I'm the fool if I keep spending money with you
yep.
and sit there and let you leave me. And what I'm starting to find out, like I said, even with this trade, do y'all see like this is private stuff I'm telling y'all about. So if you think it's everybody say, oh, you can find anything on YouTube, you ain't gonna find that trust on YouTube. You ain't gonna find this information on the trading on YouTube. Look where the money being made at.
And hedge funds, which are in trust.
In the
It's-
hedge funds, foundations, like private. As you said, you look up, go look at your bank website. They even using the term private family offices. Anybody know what a private family office is? You following the wrong people. You need somebody to push you to, like I said, outside the box. Now you can go back and buy the hood and do something productive.
right.
You can go put that program in. But this is like trading is probably one of the fastest ways that you could do it. Like I said, then you gotta worry about no money no more. Guess what? I take my last $1,000 and go put it
Okay,
in a trading
let
account.
me
I'm
let
gonna
me
go
let me
right back
no, no,
up.
let me just go here. I'm gonna end this. We might just go ahead and wrap this up with some juice now. Look, I'm gonna tell you the problem, Cornell. People don't want to
What's
submit
the
their
problem?
ego to a person, and I can tell you what.
That's it.
You submit your ego to a person such as a man of Cornell that he's proven what he's done. I mean, good lord, his the man has examples of real life people. It's like, okay, bam, that's cool. So now I know I'm not gonna be the biggest idiot that doesn't learn it. And there's a battle of ego. Why? Because you don't want to be anybody's flunky. Like no one wants to be anybody's flunky. It's like, oh, I don't want to be anybody's flunky. So now you have a choice. Am I gonna submit to learn from him? You might even start saying some of the same things that he say. So I'm like, can I end up saying what he says? Like this man just said to me, "You ain't never gonna have to think about money ever again." I'm like, I know your mentor said that to you. So you took on his words, and then look at you. It's like, can someone submit to say, "Dang, I'm gonna have to speak
Well,
like that"?
when he told me that, I took it serious. Why you think? I said nobody forced me to go look at a chart 5 6 hours a day. This dude, and he showed it to me. So when he showed it to me, I knew it was for real. Why not? Am I not gonna put my time in? That's a true statement, people. Like that's not a sell you anything. You saying that? That's
Yeah.
a true statement. And that guy was so serious, like he trying to get you to the point you ain't got no losing days. Monday through Friday, you was making money, which I was. Monday through Friday, when I followed the system and I learned it, I made money every day. I could make $2 3 thousand in less than an hour.
Man, I remember when we first met. I always tell people this story. When we first met, that when you first said that to me, I was blown away. My eyes was like, my wig was pushed back, and I was like, okay, I need to talk to him, but I was on some other mission. Like he knew the mission we both were on, but when we connected, but the mission nonetheless was he was looking for something, I was looking for something. But when I heard that, I was like, "What? $2,000 an hour? Like that's some money I like to make." And when he said that, I was like, "Okay." And he just made he made the move in the room a little easy. He was like, "Yeah, I don't really be sweating, money and stuff." I'm like, "Oh man, I mean, I don't either." But and he just was like, $2,000, $3,000. And I was like, "Wow, okay, so you trying to tell me you sitting in front of a computer making that? Like, that's great money right there." And I was just like, "Wow." And he knows, and if you trade, that you can what is that called? You can put in trades for longer periods of time, which means you can make more money. And you can up the lot size, which means you up how much you're timesing each time you buy something. Like it's really sophisticated, but it's really cool.
So let's
And
start right. So think about that. You learning a pattern. The pattern never changes, but your mindset is gonna change because now that same trade you probably was making $100 on before, if you follow your plan and you building, that same $100 is now $10,000. Ain't nothing changed. But your mindset, that pattern is still there. So people always ask that question. I need a lot of money to start with. No, you don't need a lot of money to start with. You need to learn this pattern. Then you can go make whatever you want to make. Now that's up to you on how you manage your account. Now if you're gonna spend all the money out of your account, no, you're not gonna turn that $100 into $10,000. But some should click in your head like, boom, I got this. You know what? Let me leave some money in there, so I don't gotta take the $100 trade no more. It's the same trade, people. What I'm talking about, but now I'm gonna leave a little bit more money in there to get some more money off it. That's what he's talking about. So if that don't go over your head to figure out like, hold on. So you mean tell me I ain't gotta have 30,000 starting out? No, you don't have to have 30,000. Well, I just said my aunt started with. I know some people that started with 50 and $100, and in a couple weeks it was up a couple $1,000. So it's no excuse. And at the same time, you got a demo. Cause it's something I don't really talk about. But a lot of people don't realize. They said I went live trading years ago. I really haven't lost no money live trading because I blowed the account up in demo till it finally clicked. So it was no trial and error. Do y'all hear? Demo. Now you have to pay for your education, but demo ain't no 30, $40,000 trial, error, and run. It's there. Nobody else gonna tell you that. And you wanna know why people stop trading? Because it's addictive, and you gonna hit it a few times. You gonna think you got it, and you gonna go overboard, and then you gonna blow the account up. Unless you in demo and you trade the same way you gonna trade when you start and getting that real feel of it,
and not
you
thinking
gonna
about the
blow the
money,
account and you
but
gonna get
thinking about the
the other guy.
pips or
Mm-hmm.
the points and scoring buckets. You know, get your numbers on what they call the private side. Get the numbers that people don't want you to look at. They want you to look at the money. Cause people, these
They want you to
humans,
get the money.
have
But
attachments,
what
emotional
what we did
attachments to the money.
on the webinar? What did we not talk about? Did we
Money.
even talk about any money
No,
that
we
much?
didn't. We didn't talk about the money. I mean,
We
no, we
didn't
didn't.
talk about
We
no
didn't talk
money.
about the
I
money.
gave an example, so I want you to see what you can make. But the main purpose was what?
The education.
To study
Yeah.
and look at this chart.
Yeah.
Now you can go make whatever you want to make. That was the purpose.
Right.
Not like everybody else. Oh yeah, it go GCAD or the Nasdaq. Somebody throwing you a trade because they trying to look good. Man, half them guys fail. I done been in an organization where I seen half them guys that you thought was an expert or they trying to call out trades that got these quick strategies. They fall off.
Yeah, these guys are
I done
selling
seen
internet
95%
packages
of them
nowadays.
fall off.
All right, Cornell. Well, we about
That's
to
it.
go ahead and promote this webinar that you have coming up at the end of the month, ladies and gentlemen. I think we're gonna do 2 episodes of this. I know I'm announcing it kind of late, but if you listen to the entire episode, thank you so much. And if you're still live with us, Cornell's gonna be doing a webinar at the end of the month. It's $300. And you can do it. It's going to be March 30th and the 31st. So we all can catch this at the end of the month. Cornell's going to do a webinar. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I've done it. I'm going to be there again. Cornell, once again, webinar. It's going to be info at chanelchase.com. Cornell got a publicist. He Cornell's got a publicist.
Hey,
It's
they had.
info at chanelchase.com. Chanel Chase, Chase. And Cornell's gonna be doing a webinar. It's $300. It's worth it. We giving y'all time. Cornell, like you say, don't do it often. Like seriously, this could be like the second and last webinar that he does this whole year. And I know that's not a lot to say, but still, Cornell doesn't do webinars too often. I've known him for a while, and for him to want to share, it's great. And I just think that when you all see how, when we talk about being involved, the benefits of being involved, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, we've had a plethora of episodes of how trusts are operating, what industries they're operating in, how they're being funded, and things of that nature. And they're definitely in hedge. And so this is a way to hedge your family. And so Cornell was definitely talking about it. And teaching children is a mission to help out young kids. And I want that mission to still reign supreme when people really look at what is it that he knows. It's not just, oh, let me teach adults for $300, like we say,
And
ladies and
that's
gentlemen.
it.
Now
That's the other
that's a
power.
humble
That's the other
statement,
power
because
in it.
the man has taught in, like we say, Ivy League guys. So this isn't you have to be humble moment. Like I say, it's a moment. Are you really to submit yourself? I may need to speak that language. Cornell speaks a language. That's the one thing I will tell you all is a secret that he knows. He knows a secret language, and that language is something for you to learn, or a private language that you can learn, because it's just studying the charts, like he says. But you have to be made aware of what to look at on charts and things of that nature. And so it's a secret language. So, the webinar info at Chanel Chase, you all can contact the vault if you still want to do a Christian that trusts Christian. We're going to be here for consultations and making sure you're good. And we didn't talk about funding it through the tax refund. We talked about funding it through trading. Things that people are learning that skill. They want to learn that skill more, and people are actually doing so. And so we wanted to talk about an example live tonight. And is there any parting words, Cornell?
You wrapped it up pretty good.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Cornell is, I mean, please don't take this man lightly. He is a awesome individual and knows his stuff. Please email info at chanelchase.com. Cornell, um, when it comes down to it, ladies and gentlemen, when someone says,
Like I said, and
is
I really don't know how many more times I'm gonna do it. To be honest with you guys, 'cause like Chris, I got other big projects going on. Like I might be into some philanthropy the second part of this year. So it's gonna be a lot of moving around. Like I'm doing it right now because so many people reaching out, and I know, guess what? They may pick it up and be able to help the people in their area. That's what I do it for. It's not for the money. I tell you now, don't call me and ask me about no money on no trade or how much I can make. First of all, you already got the wrong approach to it because I just told you whether you believe me or not, and a lot of people be amazed. Like even from the first webinar, even my new people that went back and watched it finally clicked in their head because what I didn't sugarcoat in the webinar. I gave every tool that I use. This is it. So guess what? The first question when you finally realize, oh man, I know what he talking about, you gonna be shocked and amazed. You ain't gonna sit there and watch the news and let nobody influence you on what you're doing. You gonna go look at that chart and be looking like, dang, they've been playing us the whole time. I'm gonna throw this on line for Christian real quick to read, but I'm gonna do the total opposite when it's time to make the money. And that's why you lose your money. So hopefully some people can take it serious because it ain't just the money. It's if you building your kids up, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you working with your kids, Cornell likes to break stuff all the way down to where if I'm telling you 12 and 14-year-olds gonna be able to learn this, what's your excuse? You're an adult. What's your excuse if I can show this to a 12 or 14-year-old, simplified, straight to the point, and it's still at a higher level than anybody else? I still put that up. Anybody go get your best trader. I can bet you any type of money. He gonna say thank you when we get through talking. And I done did it before. And like I said, that's what happened with the hedge fund. And these guys were running 9-figure hedge fund. And they was like, thank you for sharing that. Because other people ain't gonna share that type of information.
They going Billy after that. That's a Billy.
They did what they said. They going Billy.
They
And
going
they
Billy
get
after
Billy.
that. They
They
going a
get Billy.
billion off of that one, buddy. That's
I
all we
put
needed.
that in.
Locked in, fellas. We tripling. They didn't
I
even talk
did
about
too.
tripling. They talking some
The guy
exponential
called me
growth.
last week. They already doubled what they had in their hedge fund after doing that information.
After how many months?
Shoot, that ain't been that long. That's been what, 3-4 months I've been
I don't think
did
it's been
that.
3 4 months. I think it's been like
I
two
don't even think
months.
it's been that
I
long.
think it's been 2 months. I think it's been like January. It was like January, man.
Like they own it. Cause like I said, these guys was full time trading. You already see how much money I don't full time trade anymore. But they full time trade
Yeah,
every day.
yeah.
So they got the type of money to play with. They said they doubled their fund already. They trying to get that status. They want that billion.
There you go. That's all you need under your deck. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for tuning in live or listening to replay this far. Info@ChanelChase.com. I put it in the chat if you want to email me, Christian at Trust Christian, because you're more familiar with that. That's fine. I know that this conversation with Cornell was very enjoyable. We're going to do a series this month just to go up to his workshop, the webinar, so you all can hear more of the trust conversations about the trust funding, even through
And if you got
the
questions,
trading.
chime in.
I know, right?
Chime in during the week. Post a question. Christian can make a list, so when we get on there, we'll address what you got. Like I said, I don't want to sit here and keep talking. Like I said, a lot of you ain't gonna pay it attention like that. But if you serious, you should have some questions.
Okay. That
So
see, this
we
is
can
this
get
is
in
what
there
happens
during the
when you
week.
get a real, someone that knows their craft. They say send the questions in early. So next episode, next week when we talk about trading in another way through the trust, uh, you all can have some questions answered. We can address those early on right away in the episode. So it's up to you guys. I appreciate we really don't go this long, but I know conversations with Cornell, just being a trustee, it's always like great conversation and being able to chat with everybody and be able to hear that conversation is always great. So we appreciate you all. Thanks for tuning in live or listening to replay. Feel free to reach out to us. Christian at trustchristian.com or once again info at Chanel Chase. Once again, Cornell's going to have a webinar on March 30th through the 31st. It's going to be 2 days, and you all can get access to that by emailing info@chanelchase.com, and we'll go forward from there. So, peace to everybody for tuning in live or listening to replay. Look forward to hearing from you all next week. Talk to you soon.